What's up, my fellow geeks? I'm Geeky Bobs, and you are watching the very first episode of WoWtalk, a newly created World of Warcraft show where I'll be talking about all kinds of WoW-related stuff, news, gossip, whatever, and give my opinion about it, and more importantly, I want to hear your opinion about it. So, seeing this is the very first episode, I want to talk about Mist of Pandaria, the latest expansion in the World of Warcraft franchise, how it has been since release, and what I think about it so far. How has it been? So, to start out, when you start leveling, of course, when expansion just hit, the leveling was freaking chaotic. I mean, there was people everywhere. The respawn time was insane. That is to be expected from a game that doesn't that works per server and has an X amount of people per server, and then has all those people at the same time in the same place. That's just what happens. I actually think that maybe they should implement some sort of system where they only allow 100 or 200 people at the same time, but that also takes away the fact of the MMO, that it is a massively multiplayer online game. But yeah, leveling experience was amazing. I mean, they did a really good job with the storyline, and just all the quests are really great. It flows well, doesn't take too long, it's not too short. It's great. The areas look amazing. The art design is just superb, and I really loved it. Now, most of you know that leveling is only 10% of what World of Warcraft really is. It's all about the end game. So what is there to do at endgame? Well, I'll tell you, there's so much stuff you can do. When you create your first level 90, when you ding 90 for the first time, there is so much stuff to do. I mean, there are shitloads of factions. There are heroic mode dungeons, which can be argued are not that fun, but they're always fun to do the first time. Challenge mode dungeons, which are basically harder modes of the heroic version of a 5-man dungeon, but you get no loot whatsoever. You're just basically on a timer, and you have to clear the dungeon within a specific amount of time, and you get 3 different medals from bronze, silver, and gold. And if you get gold in all the instances, all the 5-mans, you will be rewarded with an awesome looking gear set, which can be argued most of those sets are the best in their class. I mean, they look amazing, so it's definitely worth spending your time on that, and it's definitely not easy. Why? Because it's not based on gear. You get downscaled or upscaled depending on how good or bad your gear is to a certain I think item level or whatever. I'm not sure how it works, and then you have to work with that. So no matter how far you are in the expansion, if you want to do those challenge modes, you will get scaled down to that level. So it will always be just as challenging. That's why it's called challenge mode, and I think that is probably one of the best features of this expansion. It is really, really amazing. Now, I talked about factions. There are loads of factions, and there are even 2 factions right now where you need to be revert with a previous faction in order to even start those factions. Now, there's been a lot of complaining about dailies, especially Golden Lotus, are really tedious and boring, and we all know that dailies are just, something that you do, but not necessarily fun. And I think Blizzard really needs to start thinking about an alternative way for people to gain with a reputation, because I think the whole reputation thing is great. Obviously, in Mount King, we all had those tabards, and that didn't work out because nobody did the dailies. It just, except for the really hardcore players. But, you just got a tabard and that's it. But I don't know. There needs to be a fine line in between somewhere. Don't make too many dailies per faction like the Golden Lotus. It's terrible. Give us something to do where we can see some kind of change. Where like the Cloud Serpent faction and the Half Hill faction, the Farmville faction, what is it called? The Tillers. Those have some really great dailies. I mean, they're fast, and you see a change happening after you get Honored Revert. You feel like you're doing it for something, and that feels really good. I don't think they need to give more rep and make less dailies for a faction. They just need to make it more interesting and give us different things to do. Why not seeing as they incorporated valor points in most of these factions now, yes, valor points no longer just a thing that you can get from a vendor. You need to get revert with a 100 or revert with a faction first in order to get valor point gear, which takes quite a long time. By the time you could already be geared and not even need that gear anymore, which is kind of a silly system to begin with, but it worked out okay. But anyway, my point is, I think that the way you gain valor points is too slow and too difficult. It takes too long to get valor capped. If you clear all the raid instances, you don't get enough valor points to get valor cap, and then you get valor points from dailies and of course dungeons. And I understand that Blizzard is trying to force you to do older content, but I don't think that's the way to do it. Coming back to that rep though, it's the same issue. If you want to have people buy valor points, which is kind of like incorporating the rating level to the factions, why not give us dailies or weeklies where we have to clear a raid boss, or maybe do a raid boss in a certain way, or maybe do a challenge mode, or maybe do something to gain reputation. Now they're already trying to fix this within the next patch, that you're going to gain some things that gain reputation with a faction, which is great, but I still think they need to have a lot of things to do when it comes to reputation faction. So I already just mentioned the raiding content. The raids are right now that came with the patch. There are 3 raid instances. They're absolutely amazing. They are really good, really strong, challenging and fun, especially on the heroic modes. I mean, some heroic modes are just cakewalk, but most of them are pretty challenging. I raid 2 times a week with 10 man, which is pretty challenging to begin with, because you're casual and 10 man. 10 man really allows for no mistakes at all. If one person dies, it's usually a wipe, or you're just not gonna make it. 25 man, there's a little bit more room for error. But yeah, the raids, amazing. I love them. They're great, fantastic. I really hope that 5.2 is coming out soon as well. They've been really good with patches. 5.1 came pretty fast. It was a major patch without a raiding instance, and I think that's great that they do that as well. They came with a new faction. They wanted to bring up world PvP, which never really works in WoW. I don't even know why they bother. Especially not on my server, RavenQuest EU, where it's just 90% alliance anyway. It doesn't work out, but the dailies are pretty okay, and you get reputation for Black Prince. That's probably their intent, that you get that at the same time. Black Prince is like the whole quest line that goes on, legendary quest line. But I'm not here to talk about that. Actually, I can mention that everyone is getting a legendary this expansion. I'm not sure if the weapon is for everyone, but right now everyone can gain legendary stuff, a gem and a socket at the same time in a raid, which is alright, I guess. I really hope that the weapon is not the same, but anyway, that's a discussion for a whole nother episode. Yeah. Farmville, I already mentioned the Tillers. The Tillers is this new faction where you are allowed to grow crops and stuff like that. So it's really great. You started with 4 plots, and then as soon as you get honored, you get 4 more, and then revert 4 more, and then exalted you have 16 in total, which is great. And in every plot you can put something, and you can even grow, like, you can grow up herbs, you can grow food, you can grow ore, enchanting materials, and it works great. It's really, really, really good. I like it. It's something that keeps you logging on every day as well, just to do that, and it works really well. It's a fun addition, and I think more stuff like that should be added. That's great. That's good. Yeah. Then that's pretty much the good part of the expansion, For me as a raider, it was fantastic because the raids are great, and as soon as I get all the dailies and everything out of the way, and I can just focus on raiding 2 times a week, I just log on 2 times a week, and then of course the farm bill every day. Then I don't want anything more from WoW. I don't want to be forced to come online to do stuff every day like I had to in Vanilla WoW and Burning Crusade. that's just not what I want anymore, and I don't think a lot of people don't want that either. People say, oh, lack of content, this and that. No, it's great. Just let me finish up everything and then focus on raiding. That's what I want. Great. That's the good part. The bad part, of course, there's bad things. I already mentioned the dailies. Very repetitive, very boring. Blizzard needs to fucking get their head screwed on and figure out a way to do this right, because they have been boring since they first got introduced in Burning Crusade. Boring, boring, boring. I understand that kill quests and stuff like that are the easiest way to go, but find something new, intriguing, a different way to do things, you know, incorporate other aspects of the game, like professions, like raids, like dungeons, you know, find some stuff to do, find some stuff to change things around a little bit. You feel very forced to do dailies though in this game, because Blizzard stated, oh, it's optional. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But one, valor points. The only way to spend your valor points before 5.01 was to get rep with those factions and then gain gear from that. And not to mention that you do have to do dailies for charms. You get these things called charms, lesser elder charms. You get 2 per dailies, and 90 of those small ones will translate into 3 elder charms per week, with a cap of 10 in total. What these elder charms do is when you kill a raid boss, a bonus loot thing will pop up, and you click you click roll on that, and you get another shot at the loot table from that boss, and maybe get you an extra item, which is purely individual. So everyone in your raid could click roll and everyone could gain an item, which I think especially for 10 man is great, because 10 man still lags behind when it comes to loot and itemization. So that's a really welcome change, but you need 90 of those per week. And once where I'm at a point where I don't really do dailies anymore, I'm running out of those things, and I'm forced to do those again. So they need to implement new systems to gain those charms. I think they already talked about pet battles, but I have not touched pet battles yet, and I never intend to. I think it doesn't belong in World of Warcraft, I think. I don't know why they implemented it, but whatever. Some people might like it. Whatever, not even going to cover it. Fuck that shit. 5-man heroics are way too easy. I know their intent was to make 5-man heroics just basically, you know, your normal farm gear, which is fine, but make him a little bit hard, you know, challenging. But I guess we got the challenge modes, which is fantastic, great, awesome, epic, feels good. Yeah, challenge modes are a huge plus. Great. I really hope that the coming 5-mans that they'll do something with that as well. I'm not sure how they can incorporate that. I guess you could gain some other cool stuff from gaining gold from the new 5-mans. Although the next patch 5.2, which is coming out probably next month or the month after that, will not have new 5-mans. It will just have a new 25-man with 12 bosses in it. But more about that in another video. Like I said before, valor point cap is reached way too slow. I understand that I'm trying to create a system where you not only get valor points from raids, and then since you want to do dailies anyway, so you can do that, and then you daily heroic or whatever. But I don't know. I think it's a little. I'm kind of the person that I want to do everything via raiding at some point. When I get to that point, I want to do everything via raiding. So I want to gain my elder charms via that somehow. I want to gain my valor points. If I kill every single raid boss in that tier, I want to have enough. I want to be valor capped, and I also want to have a faction that's based with that raid or something like that. So that makes sense to me, because valor points are the raiding, you know, they're the raiding token thing. So the currency for raiding, why not just keep it with that? Anyway, but I guess for the casual players, I don't even know what casual means. I mean, I'm a casual player and I raid 2 times a week. What is there to do in that fucking game if you don't raid or PvP? Nothing. Don't even play the game. That's not worth it. Just leave it. And you know, but whatever. Oh, one thing I didn't mention is the new talent system. The new talent system is awesome. It's great. It's really good. They just basically made these 3 rows where you can choose every so many levels, level 25, 50, whatever, I can't remember exactly, and you choose between one of the 3 talents that you then have, Some of them are passive, some of them are active abilities. But the cool part is that you can switch them on the fly if you have a regent for it with you. And the UI bugs a lot, so sometimes you have to type /reload UI. Anyway, it works great. It's a fantastic system. It's awesome, especially since you can change those talents on the fly for raiding and PvP. It's pretty good. I really like that. It's an amazing system. The way you switch out talents and glyphs, though, should be a little bit revamped, I think. The system is awesome, but it should be more accessible. Maybe they should have a look at Guild Wars 2 and how they handle changing out trains like on the fly, because I think it's ridiculous that we need to have a region for that in our bags. Yeah, you know, I really like in Guild Wars 2 your traits that you can just click it and it will pop up and then you select a new one and then automatically without having to confirm anything or whatever. Just that's great. Why can't WoW do that? You know, that would make a great system even greater. So that's basically it. Expansion is great. If you're a raider, you're gonna love it. It's good. Except for one thing. Looking for raid. I know this was in the 5.0. whatever patch in Cataclysm, I believe, implemented, but the looking for raid system is not good. It's terrible. I don't know why it's there. Casual people should be able to do. It has nothing to do with casual. If you play a game like World of Warcraft, you either raid or you PvP. If you're not doing that, then you're playing the wrong game. Honestly, looking for raid is, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just bad. I mean, it's not even challenging or anything like that. You just sign up like you would do for a random dungeon. You go in and you get free loot. That's pretty much it. And for alts, that's great, but for people like me, we're being forced to do that because gear, especially in the start of the expansion, was, you know, a huge upgrade from what you had, the blues. And especially tier in 10-man is a pain in the ass to get because you only get 1 token per boss. You know, it really helps out to do those looking for raids to get your tier bonus, not to mention you get battle points for it. Anyway, looking for raid, I can scrap the shit out of it. It's stupid, it's lame, it's retarded. Go away. We don't need it. If you want to be a casual raider, raid with a guild 2 times a week or something like that. Whatever. You know, looking for raid, get the fuck out. It's stupid. For people that have loads of alts, what's the point? So what? You're gonna do looking for raid and then what? You're not doing normal raids, so why are you gearing up your character? Well, because it's fun. Go buy a Barbie doll or something. You can do the same thing. Looking for raid is stupid. I can't say it enough. It's stupid. It's not good. It's not fun. It doesn't work. It's just no. It doesn't work. It does not work. Cross realm zones. Also something. You know, I understand that Blizzard has this weird idea that World PvP is a thing. It's not. World of Warcraft World PvP sucks. The game is imbalanced as hell, as low level, and it just does not work. Not to mention that, have you ever tried to go to Outland with your newly created character? You're gonna get ganked for at least 10 minutes before you even get to the fucking portal, because there's a group of 80s waiting for you that have nothing else to do apparently, even on a Saturday evening, 9 o'clock, and they're gonna gank you to shit before you reach the portal. And you have that, you know, Hellfire, Nagrand, they fly around and gank people all day. Fucking stupid. It doesn't work. I understand the reason behind it, but then do something about griefing. Do something about max levels not being able to touch players below like 20 levels below them or something like that. Even if I'm on a PvP server, I don't care being ganked. I don't care about being attacked by other people. That's great. I like a nice battle, but it needs to be fair, not someone that one-shots me. That's not fun. That's not PvP. That's just fucking lame and stupid. Nobody wants that. So that's everything covered about that. You know, overall the expansion is great. I mean, I did a great job on the art. The raids are great. The 5-mans are good. The challenge modes are amazing. The revamp on talents are great, but they still have a lot of work to do. Obviously, they want to keep content coming in fast. I think 5.2, if it comes out next month, I think then they're on a good schedule, and if they can keep that up, then super plus on that department, but they need to change some things. They need to change the way valor points is gained and the cap is reached. They need to change the way you spend your valor points. They need to change the way you gain elder charms. They need to change the way. They need to just fuck off with looking for raid. They need to change the way cross on works, and they need to change the way dailies works. If they can get that stuff straightened out, this game will be untouchable, and it will be super amazing. It is already a really good game, don't get me wrong, but there's so much stuff that can be improved. Luckily, the rating in this game is always as superb as it has to be, and that's the reason why I play anyway, so I'm not too concerned about those small changes. The last bit of this first episode, I want to talk about 10 versus 25 man. I want to have this in this episode because it kind of fits with this. You know, there's been a lot of talk, and I also had a huge discussion, or not a discussion, not a bad discussion, but a good discussion about this with my guildmates. You know, 10 versus 25. Why is Blizzard trying to keep 25 men alive? There's only like this. If you compare 10 men to 25 men, this is 25 men, and this is 10 men. You see how little guilds actually do 25 men. Maybe that was a horrible comparison, but whatever, you get the point. There's not many people doing that, and I don't know why it is they want to keep it alive. And the only way they're keeping it alive is because you gain a bit more loot from that, you know. You get more loot per boss, per person in a 25 man and a 10 man. And that's the only way they're really keeping it alive. I think if they take that aspect away, that even more guilds would go 10 men. And of course, some of the top guilds in the world are 25 men, but even those people are caving. But because you saw already Paragon went 10 men for this expansion, and I think probably more guilds were gonna follow. I don't know if it has something to do with sponsored and that Blizzard might get in trouble, but yeah, I think it's stupid. I really like the idea. I saw an MMO that someone asked the question to Blizzard in a blue post, like, why not make a 15-man raid and just scrap 10 and 25 men? I think that would be really amazing, especially with, I think, 11 classes that we have now. That would make sense, and especially, you know, you have the balance between 25 man being, you know, so many people, and you can have 1 or 2 deaths and it's forgiving, but 10 man is so tight, so you pull it down to 15, and that would be, to me, I think that would be the perfect number. I don't think a lot of people would have problems adjusting to that either, neither 25 man or 10 man raiding guilds. But I guess, you know, Blizzard doesn't like changing that too much because they have gotten a lot of grief from trying to change 10 and 25 men. But you know, I'm 10 man, and I think it's I think 10 man is the way to go. I think they need to increase the drops on 10 man a little bit more. But I guess, you know, because it's an uneven number, 25 versus 10, you know, so 25 drops a little bit more because you have 25, not 30, and 10 you have only 10. So it's like, what are you gonna do with the loot? I don't know. I don't know. 10 man has some problems. I know we've always had some problems with tier and stuff like that. Some people just missing out completely on a tier piece that I wanted for an entire tier. That happens in 10 man, and it fucking sucks. I think 15 man would be good, but I don't know. I want to know your guys' opinion about 25 men. Do you think that is something they should keep, or do they need to find a sweet spot with 15, or just push it to 10 men? I would really like to know. I would also like to know your opinion about this expansion so far. How was your experience? You know, and are you looking forward to future content? Are you gonna keep playing, or did you already quit, or whatever? You know, everything I talked about, I would like your opinion and feedback as well. So to recap, the expansion is pretty good, some improvements, but you know, that's always the case with an MMO. There's always stuff that needs to be improved. Anyway, thanks for watching the very first episode of WoWtalk. Next time, I'm not sure if it is going to be like a strictly week thing, so don't expect like next week to have another episode. I want to have an episode where I actually want to talk about stuff properly. I will probably next time talk about 5.2 and the changes that they're making towards that, and you know, maybe look at some mounts and all that shit. So thanks for watching. Until next time, have an awesome day and good luck raiding everyone. And if you're not a WoW player but you're still watching this because you want to keep track of WoW, good luck with other stuff and peace out.